His Holiness Sri Guru Maharaj Ji, all the viewers and dear Paramis watching this spiritual awareness journey program to find out a way and insight into spiritual living. So the word spiritual comes from the word spirit, means the soul, that life force, and living means the life that we are all living. Here I like to quote that it is said, we are all spiritual beings having human experiences in life. And the life itself is very, very precious and rare to get it. So as we have born and take birth in this planet, as we go through age wisely, during the process of our growth, we come and go through different stages or the different phases, like in form of different circumstances, situations in our day-to-day life. And because the life is full of dualities, like the night and day time we go through every day, such as there are dualities, the two aspects of life, so-called, that is happiness, sorrow, pain, pleasure, gain, loss, success, failure, sometimes meeting, separation, getting what we want and not getting. So these are the aspects, circumstances that we all, in any way, anyhow, in some way or the other, we go through, we experience. So here the one aspect of life that is happiness, pleasure, success, gain, getting whatever we wanting in our life, it's good feeling, it's okay, then we feel very good, very normal, and we are in a very happy state of mind. But the other aspect of life, somewhere or the other, not all of us, but some people could not, handle the situation properly. That is the sorrow, pain, failure. These are the things that people cannot control. They are so disturbed and distracted by such kinds of emotions. So it is said that by the Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore that, "Oh Lord, if there are obstacles, struggles in the way, don't remove, but give me the courage, give me the strength to overcome, to cross." Okay, so in the same way that we have to be very stable and very composed in any situations, in all the aspect of life, because it comes and goes, like the seasonal changes we all feel, we all see in the nature. There are winter seasons, there are rainy seasons, sunshine, there is the spring season, it goes and comes, in a very continuous basis. So in the life also, we all go through this all situation that we have to handle it in a very proper way. So it is said that, the life is not about what happens to us, but it is about how we handle in a proper way that we have to learn, that we have to understand very clearly, so that in a world that we are all living, that it's full of dualities also, and of course the diversities. We see lots of differences, lots of external factors are there, dissimilarities, varied form. For example, there are so many colors are there, so many tastes are there, so many different kinds of people are there living in different parts of the world. They have their own way of living. I think there are so many differences are there still, but above all, above this all dualities, above all diversities, we are all one. We are all human beings. We are all one in spirit. That we have to understand. We have to experience that dimension that within us, that is there. We can realize in our life. We can reach out there through spiritual practices, right? Spiritual practices, which is called meditation. We can experience, we can gain that, experience in our life, which is Satchidananda Rupaha, means the truth, consciousness and bliss. Truth means that was, that is, and that will be. Always similar, always same in all stages, all phases. Still remains same. And the consciousness is the energy, is the power that sustaining us, sustaining all human beings and every creature of this creation. Okay? That consciousness is similar in every spark of life that we see in form, in different multiple forms in this creation, in the world and in the nature. And the bliss means that state of mind where there is stillness, calmness, the space of infinite happiness, infinite joy is already in every human spirit, that we have to understand, that we have to know through this kind of spiritual discourses and the spiritual knowledge. And we are all actually human beings, mankind, very similar, that we are the children of God Almighty. No difference actually in the spirit. We are all human beings living in this planet. And daily life, we all go through the similar, the awareness, that stages of awareness. There are 4 stages of awareness. That first is the awakening stage, second is the dream state, third is the dreamless state, fourth is the trance state. So in the first stage, that is awakening state, we are all awake, that I'm speaking, I'm awakened, I'm awake, so I'm speaking in front of you. We are all listening to the Satsang. Our bodily activities is active, we are listening, we are saying, we are speaking, our mind is conscious. That is called the awakening state, where we do all our activities in our daily life. And in the second stage of awareness is called the dream state. Means when we go to sleep, and that time we forget everything. And when we sleep and we start to dream, okay, we used to go in different world, okay, so much fantasy there, like a fairy tale. We walk in the sky, we walk in the ocean without boat even, okay, walking in the water. Because that time our subconscious mind is active. Whatever is input is there as a form of memory. It is come out in the comes in a dream state that we all go through. Here in this context, I would like to share the true life story of King Janak. One day he was sleeping and he started dreaming. In the dream state, he found himself as a poor fellow, very thirsty, hungry, in the forest, wandering here and there in search of food. Anyhow, he managed the food to eat. And when he was about to eat the food, that time two animals came there and fighting, and all the food was smashed in the dust. So he could not eat the food even. So out of hunger, out of grief, he was crying in the dream state. And suddenly he woke up and he found himself in a room, in a luxurious room. Everything is available around him. He was a king of the big kingdom. So that moment he started to question himself whether I'm a poor fellow or I'm a king. In the dream state, I was a poor fellow, like a beggar. And right now, in awakened state, I am a king. So the question arises within him that which state is the true? What is the reality? What is the truth? So tomorrow in the court, he announced that whoever give me the right answer of my confusion will be awarded. So all the scholars, all the said and sages went there in the court to give the correct and the satisfactory answer to the king. But the king was not satisfied with their answer. Lastly, Maharishi, the great saint Ashtavkraji, came into his court. He was an enlightened soul and the living master of that time, and he answered the question of the king in a very satisfied way, saying that, Your Majesty, neither the state that you are in the dream state you are a beggar, and awakening state you are a king. These two stages are not true, are not truth, but it is temporary. But Your Majesty, that awareness, that consciousness that make you experience the awakening state and the dream state, that is the truth. The consciousness that makes you experience all the experience, that is the truth. And giving him the discourses, convincing him in a good way. At the last, the king, satisfied by the answer of Ashtavkraji, and Ashtavkraji initiated him into spiritual knowledge. And after getting the spiritual knowledge, Raja Janak, King Janak, experienced that dimension within, that truth within, that beyond dualities, something very, the divine, something infinite, beyond our physical awareness, beyond our mental awareness, something paraphysical, metaphysical experience he gained in his life. So in the same way, these are the stages that we all go through. We all go through in everyday life. But have we ever think about it? we are awakened, we are go to sleep. In the same way, in the third state, awakening state, first, second is the dream state, and third is the dreamless state, where we have very sound sleep. So it is said that actually sleep is the unconscious meditation, and meditation is the conscious sleep. Actually, it is said so rightly. In the sound sleep, we don't aware. I think we don't experience anything, but we have a very good sleep, dreamless state, which is called. And in the fourth state is the trance state, where we get that state after initiating into the spiritual knowledge, spiritual practices, that where we can conscious of our own consciousness, we get aware of our own awareness that is within us in the form of spirit, in the form of soul, which is called the subject of universal life. So in Upanishad, consciousness is regarded as the spark of life. It's a spark of life that is connecting all of us with the universal reality, with the universal truth. That we are actually the life that is sustaining us, that is running within us, that in the form of consciousness is present in every spark of light that we see around in the nature. So we have to keep the balance, we have to keep the harmony with the life that is manifesting in many forms, in multiple forms in the creation. So it is very important that to lead a spiritual life, we need the spiritual understanding through such kind of discourses, such kind of spiritual speeches. We get to know about the reality. Why? Because we have certain kind of questions within the curiosity, because still there are so many things we have to know about this. There are ignorances are there, the layer of ignorances are there in our mind that has to be removed, that can be removed, just like there is darkness, and to remove the darkness we need the light. When sunrise rises in the morning, the darkness remove away, we have the daytime. In the same way in our life, there are so many misconceptions, maybe ignorance or the doubts, question. If we have, it can be removed, it can be answered in a very satisfied way by getting the company of the great soul and the enlightened soul, and bestowed upon into the spiritual practices to get that reality, to reach that state of dimension where there is peace, there is the infinite happiness within ourselves. So once we understand and experience all the lives that is connected to our inner self, connected to our the consciousness, then we can cherish the life in different forms around us. So with this word, I would like to conclude my speech, and of course the former speakers also gave very good practical experiences of their life, and the song from our Kalimpong youth team was very good. So with this word, I would like to Wish you a very happy and healthy spiritual life ahead. Thank you. Jai Sri Ram. God bless you.